Good morning, boys and girls. So today I read this story to you called Stretch, and it was talking about all the different ways that we can move our body parts. And today I want to talk a little bit more about the different body parts that we have. We know the ones that we can see, right? So our head, our shoulders, our knees, our toes, our fingers, our feet. But there are body parts that we can't see that also move, and they really help us to move and when we want to get moving. So one of those things is right here. Does anybody know what it's called? And it makes a kind of sound and a beat, and it helps our blood and it helps our bodies to get moving and working. It's called our heart. And if you put your hand on your chest, you might be able to feel your heart beating. And that means it's moving, it's thumping. There's another part of our body that's very important. And inside of our story, this one part of our story talks about that part. So it says, I stretch my lungs to take a breath. Right? So he blows out nice and slow. So try it. So when we do that, we're using our lungs. So everyone say lungs. And our lungs are inside of our chest. And when we breathe, our chest moves up and down. And also our belly kind of does as well. So there are many parts inside of our body that are important, but we can't really see them. But we're going to talk about them today. So for art, if you have some materials in your home, you're going to ask your parents to help you with this. I just want you to try to make a diagram of the lungs. So this is the one I made. I had 2 straws and I used Ziploc baggies. So you could use a paper bag, you could use plastic wrap, balloons, what else? Anything that you can sort of blow into. And the reason I did this is because I want to show you what happens when we breathe, right? So it's a model of our lungs. Ready? So when we breathe in and out, our lungs open and close. They get bigger and wider, and then they get smaller again. So today, I want you to try and make a picture or some kind of diagram, just like Miss Angie did, about your lungs. Now, if you don't have that kind of material, that's okay, because we're also going to be doing a science experiment. And I know you have these materials in your house. So for science, we're going to be asking how many breaths, right, when we breathe, does it take to move an object? So this is the chart that I made. I want you to try and make it also with your families. How many breaths? So we're going to be counting. And the 3 objects that I'm going to use are a paper ball. I want to see how many breaths it takes to move a paper ball, a jelly bean, and a pencil. Now these are just 3 things that I had in my house. So you can try any 3 things in your house also. But I would really like it if you tried a paper ball. So what I did was I just took a newspaper, I rolled it up, and it's in the shape of a ball. So it's a paper ball. I have a little jelly bean. I'm not going to eat it. I'm going to test it out in my experiment. And I have a pencil. So I made my chart, and now I'm ready to test out my experiment. So all I need are these objects and my lungs and my breath. So I'm going to be breathing, they're going to be moving, and that's going to help me to move something else. All right, so let's try it out. Let's see. So there it is. There's my paper ball, and I'm going to see how long it takes me to get across my whole table to the end. So I'm going to be counting how many breaths I take. Now you can try this if you have a desk or if you have a table. If you try it on the floor, you should mark the beginning, start, to the end start so you know how far away you tested it out. Ready? Let's try it out. 1, 2, 3. Oh, it's still not off the table. 4. So that took me 4 big breaths to get that off my table. So I'm going to go to my chart. And I'm going to write 4 for my paper ball. Right? So here it is so you can see it a little better. So it took me 4 breaths. Now I'm going to test out my jelly bean. Let's see. Ready? 1, 2, 3. So that took me 3 tries. Uh-oh. Look at the shape of my jelly bean. It's round, so I know it's gonna roll. Just like my ball, it was a sphere, so I know it was gonna roll. So that jelly bean took me 3 breaths. Now I'm gonna try my pencil. My pencil is not round, but it has a cylinder shape. Remember, we were learning all about things that move? So I chose 3 objects that I kind of knew were easy to move, so it wouldn't take me that many breaths. If you choose an object like a book or a bigger object, it might take a lot more breaths. So you might be counting more breaths in order to move that object. And your lungs are going to be working a long time. Okay, here's my pencil. Let's try it out. 2 breaths, so that one was easy. There you go. So you can also make a prediction while you're doing this to which object you think is going to be the easiest to blow off of the table or blow from one spot to another spot. So my paper ball took me 4 tries. My jelly bean took me 3 breaths. And my pencil took me 2 breaths. So which one was easiest? My pencil, because it only took 2 times. So parents, help your children to write these numbers. Maybe write it for them and then have them trace it. But please try to make a chart like this so we can see that you're doing these practices at home the same way we do in school. You know, you're making predictions in science, you're testing them out, and it's really fun, right? So we can't wait to see your work, and keep it up.